Ducati recently announced a Super Quadro mono engine along with the motorcycle it's going to be fitted with. It's called the Hypermotard 698. Though the Super Quadro mono engine is 659cc. The Super Quadro mono engine is derived from Ducati's Panigale V4 engine. I'm not going to get into the details of the engine, the liners, the valves, all of that. The Hypermotard 698 is an eye candy just like most of the other Ducati models. There is no denying. Though the standard red looks like the GasGas 700 Supermotto, which is derived from the KTM 690 SMCR. RV livery stands out, and I'm pretty sure it's more expensive than the standard model with the additional quick shifter. Italians have a knack of making ordinary things sound extraordinary. It's the first time Ducati is making a single-cylinder engine after a break of close to 25 years. So they definitely have to come out on the top with the bragging rights to the most powerful single-cylinder engine for a road-going motorcycle that produces 77 horsepower, but when fitted with the Terminoni race exhaust, produces 85 horsepower. So in this video, I'm going to compare Ducati Hypermotard 698 Mono with their closest rival, which is KTM 690 SMCR. Though the sister companies of KTM, like Husqvarna and GasGas, takes the same 690 SMCR and makes their own version of Husqvarna 701 Supermotto and GasGas 700 Supermotto, which is essentially a KTM 690 SMCR underneath. It's pretty rare to find KTM 690 SMCR in Malaysia. Though I managed to find one, I was not able to avail a test ride on the motorcycle. I will have to objectively compare both the motorcycle, though the real verdict will come out only after I could ride both the motorcycles, which in my opinion will take some time. So let's jump right into the details of these two motorcycles, how similar they are and how different they are under the skin. Hypermotard 698 produces 77.5 horsepower at 9,750 rpm and 63 Nm of torque at 8,000 rpm. Now with the race exhaust, that numbers goes up to 85 horsepower and 67 Nm of torque. The dry weight on this motorcycle is 151 kilograms and it has a steel trellis frame just like most of the other Ducati models. In the front, it has got 45mm Marzocchi fully adjustable aluminum forks, and they say that this fork was specifically created for Ducati 698. In the rear, it has got fully adjustable Sachs monoshock with aluminum swing arm. In the front and in the rear, it has got 17-inch light alloy wheels. The front travel on the fork is 215mm, while the rear travel on the shock is 240mm. It runs on Pirelli Diablo Rosso 4 on the front and the rear. The stopping power is provided by single 330mm Brembo M432 calipers. In the rear, it has also got a single disc, but it is 245mm with a Brembo single piston 14 caliper. The fuel tank is in the front, just like all the other Ducati models, and the fuel tank capacity is 12 liter. The seat height on this motorcycle is little on the higher side. The seat height on the standard motorcycle is 904mm. That's quite tall. With a lower seat accessory, you can get a seat height of 890mm. And if you're still vertically challenged and want to have this, you can get an even more lower seat height of 870mm with a lower suspension. Ducati's 3.8-inch LCD offers a lot more information compared to the bare minimum unit which you get on the KTM. The Ducati's dash offers you rev limit, gear shift indicators, the riding mode which you are in, and it will also give you a low fuel indicator. Both the motorcycle does not come along with a fuel gauge. Riding modes on Ducati Hypermotard 698. There are 4 riding modes: wet, urban, road, and sport. On the wet, your power will be limited to 58.5 horsepower, but on the rest of the 3 riding modes of urban, road and sport, you will have the full 77 horsepower, but the delivery of that 77 horsepower will be different on different riding modes. KTM, on the other hand, has just 2 riding modes. One is street and the other one is Supermotto. The instrument cluster, which is used for riding mode selection and configuration on Ducati Hypermotard 698, is similar to what you get on the Monster, the Hypermotard 950, as well as on the Scrambler. But the riding mode selection on KTM 690 SMCR Let's say it's different. Both Ducati and KTM comes with pretty good suite of electronics. Maybe on the Ducati side it's a little more. Ducati comes with the riding modes, cornering ABS, DTC, which is Ducati traction control, DWC, which is Ducati wheelie control, EBC, which is engine brake control. Ducati also has a brake light which kind of flashes when you do the hard braking. As far as the KTM is concerned, it's got two riding modes. It also has ABS, it has lean angle sensor, it's got MTC, which is motorcycle traction control, and it also has MSR, which is motor slip regulations. Only on Ducati Hypermotard RVE it comes with a quick shifter, but KTM 690 SMCR comes with a quick shifter as standard. Hypermotard 698 Mono is the first Ducati to offer 4 levels of ABS. Two of these integrate the slide-by brake function, which harnesses the rear brake to allow safe and repeatable drifting into the corners during the tracks or sports use. When ABS is set to level 3, slide-by brake kicks in when the rear brake is used for aggressive deceleration on the track. On the level 2, slide-by brake allows for a wider power slide angle and more pronounced drifting all the way into the corner. Level 1 activates the ABS only at the front with no cornering function. The last thing which I want to talk about is the Ducati Wheelie Assist. As per the launch videos, Ducati Wheelie Assist will help the rider to perform prolonged wheelies. But when I went through the Ducati web pages and all the materials which is out there, there was no mention about the Wheelie Assist under the Hypermotard 698. And I continue to wonder why. And after going through the promotional videos, I happened to find out that the Wheelie Assist is only active with the Terminoni racing exhaust, and it is not supposed to be used for the road use at all. It's supposed to be for track use only. We'll have to find out how this pans out in the real world when somebody wants to install a racing exhaust and use it on the road. How is that going to span out? We don't know. But there is one thing I can say for sure, that everybody is looking forward for the wheelie assist, which will make them look like a driving guard. And I want one for myself. I can easily flat foot on my Ducati Hypermotard RVE, which has got a seat height of 870 millimeters. But I could barely tiptoe on the Ducati Hypermotard 950 SP, which has got a seat height of 890 millimeter. But when I tried the KTM 690 SMCR, which has got a seat height of 890 millimeters, my heels was not touching the ground. But I was comfortable. I am pretty sure I could do the same on the Ducati Hypermotard, and I think I was able to do this on KTM 690 SMCR is because the width of the seat is much narrower compared to the seat of my Ducati Hypermotard. We'll take a walk around KTM 690 SMCR. On the left side it is the exhaust, brake lights and the turn signals looks familiar. On the right side it is the fuel tank. It's a 13.5 liter fuel tank, which is 1.5 liter more compared to Hypermotard 698. It has a Brembo single disc, single piston floating caliper with cornering ABS, 17-inch wheels, tubeless tires. It runs on Bridgestone S21R tires. It got double-sided aluminum swing arm. It's got a WP fully adjustable shock at the back. The foot pegs are similar to the Adventure motorcycle. The rubber can be removed. Molybdenum frame, single cylinder 690cc engine, fully adjustable 48mm WP apex forks, 31 clicks end to end, 17-inch wheels, Bridgestone S21R tires. Turning on the ignition, you can see that the dash is very minimalist in nature. The unit on the left, that is the unit which is used to change the riding mode. 1 stands for the street riding mode and 2 stands for Supermotto riding mode, and the top button is used for the traction control. The extreme left cluster is only meant for light turn signals as well as the horn. Nothing specific to point out about the exhaust. Relatively small radiator compared to the Hypermotard, but it does the job. The seat on KTM 690 SMCR almost runs through the entire length of the motorcycle. The fuel tank cover is at the back behind the seat. The seat is more softer compared to the previous generation, and it has anti-slip material on it. In the front it has got 320mm single disc Brembo M4 34 caliper with cornering ABS. KTM 690 SMCR has got a USB charging socket. It can be used to charge your cell phones if you need it. I think KTM 690 SMCR makes a very compelling statement for a buyer to look at this particular motorcycle if you're in the market and considering to buy the Hypermotard 698. The power figures are really close, the torque figures are really close. Matter of fact, the KTM produces power and torque at a lower RPM compared to the Ducati. The weight is really close. The hardware on this motorcycle is really close, whether it is the forks, the shocks, the brakes, the tires. Everything is really close between these two motorcycles. The electronics in this motorcycle is really close too. So, where the big difference is going to be is in the price. KTM is priced at 60,000 ringgit in Malaysian market, and I think the price for Ducati is going to be somewhere in the ballpark of 80,000. I could be wrong. But are you willing to pay that extra money for Ducati? I will let you be the judge. I am going to put the specs of both of these motorcycles in a tabular format for the viewers to review, that they don't have to go through various pages and collect the details. Hopefully this video will help out somebody in making their buying decision. Thank you for watching.